His MVP. Goal swung, right field. Forget about it. Rangers strike first. Goes after the first one. Drills a high fly ball. Left center field. This game is tied. From Javier. Seager hits a high fly ball. Deep right field. A bomb into first. One swing. Drive. It's tied. Seager smashes the ball down the line. Goodbye. Now Seager to right center field. Way back there. Good again. Corey Seager does it again. It's Texas Rangers win the World Series. The Willie Mays Most Valuable Player Trophy presented by Chevrolet. Is there any doubt? Corey Seager.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you off-season. First show of the off-season, and we're excited. Glad to be here with you guys. We got wild card round going on right now. AL and NL. I think the Padres won over the Cubs to even up that series a little while ago. We're going to keep you posted and do a little commentary on some of those different series going on. Give you our playoff outlook. That's what we'll do each week that we get together to chat baseball. Wednesday is the day off-season show, just moving forward. The rest of the off-season, all 6 months of it, will be live every Wednesday around this time, give or take a little bit. Right now, by the way, Boston, New York tied 2-2 in the bottom of the fifth. Boston leads that series 1-0. The Guardians were able to draw their series with the Tigers even, and LA looks to advance to the next round against the Reds. The Dodgers up 1-0 after a 10-5 win last night. Lot to talk about, though, in Rangers world. Bruce Bochy and the Texas Rangers mutually agreeing to part ways. Didn't take very long, did it? I mean, you had really about a 24-hour period. And then you've got the news coming down that Bruce Bochy is not going to be returning. I think that I was a little surprised, if I'm just being honest with you guys. I was a little surprised that Bruce did not come back to coach. I mean, maybe there's something out there. Giants, maybe there's another opportunity that is still yet to be determined. But I was surprised. I thought that Boch would come back, try and have a better year in 2026 than he did in either 24 or 25. But I do think, and I already put out a video on this yesterday, by the way. I'm sure that some of y'all saw it. If not, check it out. Last night, gave at least my initial thoughts on Boch. I think that it was clear that something was missing at the end of the year. I don't think there's any denying that. And you guys know, I feel like have championed all year long. You know, Bruce Bochy is not the one standing in the batter's box. Bruce Bochy is not the one that is toeing the rubber, throwing balls and strikes. He's not. I think that the players always should be taking more blame than the manager. But unfortunately, the manager is a lot easier to get rid of than the players are. And I'm not saying that that was the determining factor here. But what I am saying is I think that Bruce Bochy is a little bit of the fall guy in all this. But I think it's hard to ignore the last 2 weeks of the season. And I said it even during the 2025 year. If it were any other manager, not named Bochy, I think there may have been a mid-season firing. I think that there easily could have been the potential for a mid-season firing if it was any other manager not named Bruce Bochy. The Rangers were not good in 2024. The Rangers had an elite pitching staff in 2025, but the offense, the culture, the effort, especially at the end of the year, was terrible. And I do think that there is some blame to be put on Bruce Bochy for that. Boch even said it towards the end of the last weekend. The effort wasn't there. And a part of that, motivating your team, keeping your team together, the culture of your clubhouse, a part of that is on the coach. And I do think that the Rangers, with the direction that they're going, would probably benefit from a new voice. I think that Bruce Bochy is a Hall of Fame manager. By no means am I trying to pretend like the grass is going to be greener with whoever they get. Skip Schumaker, some of you guys I noticed mentioning his name in the comments. I think he is prime candidate number one. I don't know if the grass is going to be greener with Skip Schumaker or not. But I do know, at least initially, with the guys that the Rangers currently have in the locker room right now, you're going to get some best behavior. I think there was a comfortability, a level of comfort with Boch. And I think that some players had slid into certain habits. With a new manager, everybody's going to be on best behavior, at least for a little bit. I mean, eventually, I'm sure it'll go away. Guys get comfortable once again. But I do think a new voice will jolt some guys out of some bad habits and routines that perhaps they were in before. And every player has to know, with a new manager, there are going to be different expectations. There are going to be different routines, rituals, traditions that new manager tries to instill. And maybe that's Skip Schumaker. Maybe it's not. We'll see what plays out. I have to say, and I tweeted this out right when the Rangers announced the Bruce Bochy mutual parting of the ways. I said almost immediately, surely the Rangers are about to announce Skip Schumaker, joint announcement style. Surely the Rangers are not leaving the table with Bruce Bochy without a backup plan in place already. If I'm just being real, if I'm letting go of Bruce Bochy, and I know it's a mutual parting of the ways, so forgive me if I interchange some of the lingo here, I am announcing Skip Schumaker nearly simultaneously. If you want to give it a day, that's fine. But I'm announcing Skip Schumaker as my new manager nearly immediately after announcing that Bruce Bochy is not going to be with the team any longer. I don't understand leaving the table with Bruce Bochy and then letting things play out a little bit. That probably would not have been how I handled things. I'm sure Chris Young has some genius master plan in store. But I was very surprised that a Bruce Bochy, Skip Schumaker announcement did not come in tandem. I wonder if this is correct. Twiz, appreciate the comment. I wonder if they are not set on Skip Schumaker. That's what all of us, I think, clearly have been thinking the entire season, because that's all you've been hearing from the beat writers online. That's all you've been hearing. Skip. Manager in waiting, senior advisor, already with the organization. Makes me feel like maybe they aren't set on him. Otherwise, why wouldn't you announce Skip Schumaker immediately? You could have given Boch his day, and then yesterday, you could have announced Skip immediately if that was the plan. The fact that we are 48 hours past the Bruce Bochy announcement and we still haven't gotten the Skip Schumaker as new manager announcement does make me think maybe there genuinely is going to be a real search where the Rangers interview multiple candidates. I don't know. And clearly we're not in the front office. We're not in the clubhouse to know how CY and Skip have been interacting, how they have been working together. For all we know, maybe they've had some ups and downs. Who knows? I don't. You don't. Would love to be a fly on the wall in that front office, by the way. I say that often. The fact that they haven't announced him yet makes me feel like maybe they're not sold. Time will tell. We will see. We'll keep rolling here. Let me do some cleaning up of some of the comments. Sorry that y'all have to deal with some of the knuckleheads on YouTube. Look, Colts fan, appreciate you. I think that this is potentially an option. The comment says, get rid of Boone and make Michael Young hitting coach. Maybe. Some people are thinking Michael Young as potential manager. I could see something like that. By the way, yes, you guys are correct. Chris, I appreciate the comment. Good to see you, man. And Duck Dawson, yes, Boch is not likely to go to San Francisco, according to Buster Posey. Now, can things change? Absolutely. Absolutely, things can change. These guys can say whatever they want right now. all they have to do is come back. Well, new information, new discussions, things change. It's simple. So, look, Bruce Bochy apparently not likely to go to San Francisco. We'll see. Boch may be at a spot where it would be beneficial to hang him up. I mean, look, do you really want to go toil with another franchise? You've already clearly established yourself as a Hall of Fame manager, first ballot. You've won 4 championships. There's nothing left for Bruce to prove. I did think that he would at least want to go out on a more positive note than what he did. But I think that having to deal with younger players, we know Bruce is a specialist with the veterans. That's his strong suit, a veteran room. And with the Rangers still trying to find their clear direction, it does make sense. I think for me, I would have loved to have seen Boch go out with a little bit of a louder bang instead of what we did that last 2 weeks of the season. Absolutely soiling the bed on our way to missing the playoffs for a second straight year. I'm looking forward to hearing from y'all. I want to see what y'all have in mind for the manager spot. I want to see what you guys prioritize in the offseason. We're going to talk about a lot of that stuff. We'll talk baseball going on right now, wild card round, AL, NL. It's going to be a great show. We're here for another 50 minutes hanging out with you guys. Hope you'll join us for the entire time. I absolutely am fascinated what the Rangers are going to do with their offseason moves, trades, letting certain players go, free agents. We know Pete Alonso is going to opt out of his contract with the Mets. We know he has been linked a little bit to Texas. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's start with Boch. Let's see what you guys have to say about this coaching decision here. Don't hire anyone that's never coached before. I think that is a move that I would probably prefer at this point. I think Chris Woodward scarred me a little bit in terms of the guy with no managerial experience. And I know you got to start somewhere. Like, look at Skip Schumaker, right? He didn't have any managerial experience at the major league level. He played for the Cardinals for many years, and he jumped around to a couple other organizations, but he went to the Marlins, won NL Manager of the Year in 2023. So, look, I think I've just had some bad experiences. You and I have, Rangers Nation. Chris Woodward, he got a little bit of a tough hand, too. I don't think Woody is a terrible manager. I think he got dealt a little bit of a rough hand personally. But I'm not super sold on giving a guy who's totally green, no MLB managerial experience, giving him the reins. I think that the Rangers might want to think twice about doing something like that. However, I think that you might be a little bit more open to a guy like Michael Young, who was apparently for a second a managerial candidate in Anaheim. My goodness, I think I just threw up a little bit in my mouth just saying that. We don't need any former Rangers legends going to Anaheim. We had Hambone in 2011, 2012, whenever that was. We had Wash going there this year. That was weird. By the way, we're going to talk Wash in a second. And then Michael Young, no. Just no. Please, no. Although Mike Young as a manager, I wouldn't hate it. I don't love no experience, but I wouldn't hate it. Let's talk about Wash, though. Panda, appreciate the comment, man. Good to see you, brother. The Angels, to me, and I don't want to go over the top. I have nothing against Angels fans at all. We've got a few that like to frequent and hang out, and I appreciate the support of the channel, by the way. But is there a more poorly run organization in sports, not even baseball, in sports, than the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim? Look, I understand parting ways with Wash for health reasons. He's getting old. He had bypass surgery. I get it. Like myself, I think it's a little crappy, even in the middle of a health concern, to let a guy go, but I could understand it a little more. But did y'all see that the Angels specifically came out and said they let Ron Washington go for performance-based reasons? Are you kidding me? Performance-based reasons for Ron Washington? The guy that had the Angels playing .500 baseball? before he left the game for health reasons? The guy that was dealt in a terrible roster with no pitching and an aging, injured Mike Trout? I do not understand the Angels at all coming out and saying that they let go of Ron Washington for performance-based reasons. I got to be honest with you. I'd love to have Ron Washington back if the health is there and if he is able physically to continue to play or continue to coach the game, I wouldn't mind having Wash back at all. Wash is a guy that's, first of all, no nonsense. That's what this team needs. We need somebody that's not going to put up with all of the drama, BS, guys doing their own things in the locker room. Ron Washington is not going to put up with any of the bad culture stuff that the Rangers dealt with this year. I'm sorry, he's not. Wash is also a guy that is huge on the fundamentals, a guy that can develop young talent. Think about a guy like Elvis Andrus. Came up with Ron Washington. I would love to have Wash back. I don't think it's going to happen. And I know some of you maybe are been there, done that, don't want to see Wash come back maybe. I would love to have Ron Washington back in a Rangers uniform coaching this team. I think that they've got to give him a call. He's a good man. I know he's made some mistakes. He's got a past. Look, we've been through this. I'm not here to judge people's past. I'll look at who they are right now. We've all made mistakes in our lives. Some people love to dig up Wash's dirty laundry, all that. I'm not there. I'm not ready to do that, not wanting to do that. Ron Washington right now, I think, would be a great manager for the Texas Rangers. That being said, I do think Skip is a clear front runner. But back to the point on Ron, to kind of put a bow on this, the Angels. I feel terrible for the Angels fans. I really do. I think the Angels fan base is actually a pretty solid group. I think they get behind their team. When they were in the World Series 2 decades ago, the place was packed. There was a ton of enthusiasm behind the team. I can't blame fans for not showing up to Angel Stadium. This is a terribly run organization. And I'm not trying to be a hater. I think most people would agree, objectively speaking. It's a terribly run organization. From the contracts that have been given to players to how they've handled the Ron Washington situation. Yeah, that's not it. Let's just put a bow on it. That is not it. Chris Woodward coming back? My goodness. That would be wild. By the way, Nate, good to see you, man. Feels like it's been a while, brother. Good to see you. Where does he want to coach next year, Chris? 5 to 7 year deals max. Who are you talking about, Colts fan? My bad, man. Why Shohei willingly went to Anaheim? Colby, I feel like Mike Trout was a big reason, wasn't he? I mean, I don't pretend to be an expert on this. Guys, Rangers, is my strong suit. I follow casually other things going on in the game. By the way, appreciate the gift. Thank you so much. Appreciate all you guys. I think Mike Trout was a big selling point for Shohei. The comment was, how did the Angels get Shohei Ohtani? I think Mike Trout was a big selling point. I really do. I think he wanted to play. And at that point, Mike Trout was known as the best player in the game. I think Shohei wanted to play with Mike Trout. And I can't blame him. And on paper, what a great combo. Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani. We've talked about this on the show. The fact that those two guys never played in a playoff game together is ridiculous. Thank you for all the comments, man. Love the hat and mustache. One of my favorites. There was an anime that had the Angels as the main team, and Shohei loved that anime. Was that a part of it too? Look, I don't know. Roster we're going to talk about in just a little bit. Jesse, if you hang out just a little bit longer, man, we're going to get to that. Would love to have Ron Washington back. The comment says, I talked with him back in September, and he is very weak. So health is not going well. That's what you mean? Look, I absolutely think that Ron Washington's health may prevent him from continuing on as a head coach in this league, which is really sad. I think Wash is a great coach. Love the no-nonsense. Love the emphasis on the fundamentals. I think that he would be great, honestly, with this group of players that we have. I mean, think about it. The Angels, I think we have better players than they do, but They've got some aging stars, Mike Trout being one of them. They've got some young talent coming up. How good that young talent is, you be the judge. We're not going to talk about that right now. We don't want to turn this into Right on Angels, but I think that the Rangers and the Angels, if you just kind of go wide lens, not crazy far off. Again, aging stars combined with young players that you're trying to develop and bring along. That's what the Rangers have. You've got Seager. You've got Semien. You've got DeGrom. You've got Evo. But then on the flip side, you've got young players. You've got Cody Freeman. You've got Josh Young. Let's throw him in the pot. You've got Josh Smith. You've got Ezekiel Duran. You've got a lot of young players that are still very controllable, still young. Evan Carter, Wyatt Langford, I mean, those are kind of givens. I think Wash would be a great fit. I don't think the health is probably going to hold up for him to be able to pull it off, but I'd love to see it. Report says he could go back to the Braves. I definitely could see that. Definitely could see that. All right, we keep going. Again, appreciate all the gifts on TikTok, man. Y'all are way too generous. Thank you so much. Panda, appreciate you. Let's go back just for a second, and then, Clint, I'll get to your comment here. We'll see what the Rangers decide on. I think Skip is going to end up ultimately getting the job. Look, if the Rangers don't give Skip Schumaker a job, he's gone. I don't think there's any way he stays with the organization. He's done a year in the system, in the front office. I think he's probably gone if the Rangers don't give him a job. And I would really be surprised if he's not ultimately the one who becomes the next Texas Rangers manager. Maybe there's somebody in the rough that CY has his sights on right now. I'm a little surprised that we haven't already gotten the announcement on Skip, to be completely honest with you. A little different. It might mean that they're not sold on him. They might just be doing their due diligence. And who knows what behind or under the table deals have already been made. Maybe, for all we know, Ray Davis is wanting CY to interview more than one guy. CY's already got it in his head that Skip is going to be the guy. Stuff like that happens all the time. I am not going to be shocked when we get the announcement that it's Skip. It would surprise me if it's anybody else. We'll see. But for right now, let's pivot and let's talk roster stuff. Let's talk. So we've got, first of all, thoughts on Adolis, Jonah, Higgy, other free agents. Lot to unpack there, Clint. Appreciate the comment. Let's start with the players that we currently have. I know some of y'all want to talk free agents. It's so hard right now with guys who, by the way, are still under contract. Like, think about an Alex Bregman, right? He might opt out. We don't know, though. So it's tough to get the full free agent market right now, but we'll try. But we'll start with players that we actually have right now. I don't think Jonah Heim is coming back. I don't think Adolis Garcia is coming back. Both those players could easily be non-tenders where the Rangers just release them and allow them to sign with another team. I think you could possibly try to get cash considerations for Jonah Heim or Adolis Garcia, maybe a low-level prospect. Anybody, though, that is expecting us to get some kind of haul for either player, I think needs to touch grass a little bit, with all due respect. I don't think the Rangers are going to be getting a whole lot of value for either Jonah Heim or Adolis Garcia. I think Dolly clearly is going to be valued a little bit more than Heim, but it would surprise me if the Rangers got anything more than cash considerations and a low-level prospect for Adolis. I mean, you have to look at the whole picture with Adolis. He's an aging player. He's almost 35 years old. I think he's going to be 34 this offseason. He is in a contract year. He is under one more year of club control, whoever owns him. And then after that, we are going to see him go to straight-up free agency. I think that Adolis Garcia is definitely going to catch on somewhere. I think there's going to be some club that says, hey, we can take this guy and make him back into the star he was in 2023. There's going to be somebody that likes what they see and decides to give him a chance. I don't think that chance should be with the Rangers for another year. I think we have done 2 years with Adolis, and they have not gone great. He's had his moments. Think back to the beginning of this season, the walk-off against the Dodgers. He's had a couple other huge moments as well. Clearly, we love Adolis, and he's going to be a franchise legend forever. forever for what he did in 2023. But I think the Rangers need to move on. They would be wise to do so. You can totally recalibrate right field, either with a young guy like Osuna, who had a very strong ending to the season, or you can go out and you can get a guy that can replace him from free agency, or you go through trade. He's definitely not a bum, TLC. He's definitely not. I think that you could definitely get something out of him in a trade, Chris. I don't think that is a foregone conclusion necessarily, but I think that you could get something for him in a trade. I've just seen some people a little unrealistic online with what you could get for Adolis. I don't think you're going to get much. He's a 1-year rental, and then after that, he's a free agent. I don't think you are going to see him get you some big haul to reboot the farm system. It's just not going to happen. Jonah Heim, I think he's going to be a non-tender. I'd be really surprised if the Rangers can get anything for Jonah Heim. Jonah Heim has been one of the worst offensive players the last 2 seasons, and I'm not just saying that opinion-based. That's rooted in facts and stats. Like, seriously, this isn't hyperbole. He has been one of the worst offensive players over the past 2 years. And you don't need to give him a raise, which is what you would have to do to keep Jonah Heim or Adolis. That's the other thing. People that love Jonah Heim or love Adolis aren't really considering. You have to give both of those guys a raise to keep them. Do you really want to give Jonah Heim a raise? You want to give Adolis Garcia a raise after the year that they had in 2025? I say no. I don't want to pay Adolis more money to stay next year than what I was paying him this year. Ditto for Jonah Heim. Agreed, TLC. I could stomach keeping Garcia a little bit more than Jonah Heim. I still don't think it's going to happen. Keep going here. Appreciate all the comments. Is Bo Bichette a free agent, Ed? I believe you're right on that. Let me go to Bo Bichette's Spotrac, and let's just check it out. I'll pull up all the free agents that would be of interest as well. Bo Bichette is not a free agent. He's actually, he will be. I'm sorry about that. 2026 unrestricted. So, yeah, he'd had ARB 3. He'll be unrestricted. So that's a guy I think I'd be interested in. I wanted Bo Bichette before the trade deadline. Then the Blue Jays suddenly came out of nowhere, got hot, and had a great second half and became one of the best teams in baseball. But before, when the Blue Jays were kicking the can down the road, I would have loved to have had Bo Bichette. A lot of people were kind of giving me crap for that one, and I didn't get it, first of all. I really don't get it in hindsight. We could have used Bo Bichette this year. We really could have. Could have used a guy like him. So, Ed, yes. John, I wouldn't say I'm sad. It's frustrating, disappointing. I wouldn't say I'm crying in my beer about how the Rangers did this year. But, yeah, I hope they're better next year. That's for sure. That is for sure. Appreciate all the gifts, by the way. Thank you so, so much. Means a lot. Thank you. Jerry Jones is going to be the new skipper. Nice. Nice. Frank agreed. Jonah should be gone for sure. We need to go after a rise. Need a tone setter. Look, Twiz, I am a fan of Luis Arraez. I know some people don't like him, don't like his game. We do need a guy that can get on base. I'm really curious to see what Arraez is going to command in free agency. He's not a guy that accrues a lot of WAR, which is kind of a gold standard among free agents and what they're going to get paid. Not a guy that does a whole lot else besides get on base with slap singles. He does accrue some RBI for sure, but I'm very interested to see what Arraez gets in free agency. Who's our coach? I think Skip Schumaker. We'll see what happens, though. Who do I think they can get as a closer? Stetson, I don't think they're going to prioritize a big-name closer. I don't think they're going to prioritize a big-name closer, guys. We'll see, but my bet would be no. I don't think they're going to do it. Who do I think will come back in the bullpen? Sounds like Sean Armstrong really wants to come back, and I think there's a couple other guys that want to return as well. Phil Maton, Danny Coulombe, I think both of them want to come back. This is from DLLS, who, if you don't subscribe to them, definitely recommend. I enjoy listening to those guys. Jeff definitely has his ear to the ground. Radigan, I mean, we all know John Radigan. Good stuff from those guys. But, yeah, I think they were reporting there's a number of relief pitchers that want to come back. Coulomb, Maton, Armstrong. We'll see what ends up happening. Hobie Milner, I don't know if the club is going to offer Hobie Milner a contract. He had a really rough ending to 2025. Hobie Milner was incredible for probably 3/4 of the season and then totally took a dump down the stretch. I really wonder what happened to that guy. Was it just overuse? I think that could be a legitimate thing. Maybe the Rangers sit back, they think about Hobie Milner, and they wonder to themselves, if we just wouldn't have had to use this guy so dang much, would he have been more solid down the stretch? I think it's a legitimate argument. I think it's a legitimate argument with a lot of guys in the bullpen. If we wouldn't have had to use them like every other day because this offense was so terrible at times, would guys have held up better down the stretch? And look, it's a testament of grit for guys like Sean Armstrong. Look, I know Robert Garcia gets a lot of crap, but he actually had a pretty good year statistically speaking as well. You had a number of guys that really throughout the entire year were pretty solid. I think Hobie Milner is probably a victim of overuse. Hey, appreciate all the good games. Thank you so much. Thank you for the gifts. I don't think he's 32. I think he'll be 34, though, by the end of the contract. Gary, I think that's what I was referring to. So if I misspoke on that, forgive me. But I think Dolly's going to be 33 this offseason, and I think he turns 34 by the time he's an unrestricted free agent. 33 in March, right. 34 by the following March when he'll be a free agent. I'll take everyone back except Garcia in the bullpen. That's the one guy they're probably going to keep, Gary. They're probably going to keep Robert Garcia because he's controllable. I do think, Kyle, I do think that Skip Schumaker will be the guy for sure. Andy, we 100% regret the Merrill Kelly trade at this point. I don't think there's any way the Rangers bring back Merrill Kelly. He's going to be I think he's going to be 37 this month. I don't think they're going to bring back a 37-year-old. I think Merrill Kelly was a play for this year, and it is so unfortunate that we gave up Cole Drake, David Hageman, Mitch Bratt, 3 top 15 prospects in our organization for Merrill Kelly in a non-playoff year. That one is going to just come back to haunt us. I have a bad feeling about it. It is what it is. The Rangers, they got a little desperate. They were trying to do whatever they could to make the playoffs. I think it would have been dangerous had they made it. They didn't, and here we are. Merrill Kelly trade is going to go down as one of the worst trades in Rangers history, unfortunately. I liked it at the time. I didn't mind it at the time, but I said it often. You got to make the playoffs and make a deep run in order for it to be worth it. You have to. You cannot miss the playoffs and expect this trade to look good a year down the road. TLC, you might be right on Hobie. I still think the overuse is probably a big factor. Hobie was great at locating. Hobie was great mixing up the pitches, mixing up speeds. Yeah, he didn't throw too well in terms of velocity. He threw pretty soft. He was a soft throwing lefty, but I think the overuse played a part. You might be right, though. Fans want to trade Marcus to free up salary and trade DeGrom. I don't think anybody is going to take Marcus Semion's contract. You could trade DeGrom, but that would just signal full rebuild. If you trade DeGrom, you might as well just go full rebuild mode. Appreciate all y'all. DeGrom coming back, Chris, yes. Unless they decide, like I just said, to go full rebuild, then you're trading DeGrom. But I think the plan is for him to come back. I hate John Gray. Had so many injuries as well. J-Lo, appreciate you. Trade Garcia and Heim for Adley. I think you're going to have to trade a whole lot more than that, Frank, to get Adley. Who could the next manager be? I think it's probably going to be Skip Schumaker. Do we lose Maddox with Bochy leaving? It's possible, but there's a lot of coaches that have survived the head coach turnover. So I do think that there is something to be said about some guys potentially sticking around. Maybe Maddox does. We will see. Sometimes the new guy comes in and he wants fresh faces, but usually you always see some guys stick around because it's nice to have that bridge coach that has been around the clubhouse, knows the guys, can kind of give you the vibes and give you the feel for what you're stepping into. So I doubt that whoever comes in goes in and cleans house. I think there'll be some guys that stick, and they'd be lucky if Maddox stays. I was kind of thinking, would he maybe be a potential? Would he maybe possibly be a guy that you would look at as a manager? Does he even want to manage? Mike Maddox has been around for a long time. I think you could probably do worse than him. We'll see. Maybe Maddox is a guy that CY might be thinking about. You just don't know what these guys' aspirations are. And clearly they're not interviewing Mike Maddox left and right. Hey, would you be interested in the position? But maybe he would be a candidate. We'll see. Full rebuild is the way to go, Brody says. I think that you got to be careful. I think personally, this year is a year to still go for it. Squeeze one more good year out of DeGrom and Evo before they start showing signs of age and regressing. I think you go for it this year. You try and field an adequate club that can compete, could make the playoffs. If it doesn't go well again this next year, I think you got to go rebuild. I don't think there's any question. You got to go rebuild. Mike Young, Javi might be a guy. Good to see you, man, by the way. Thanks for tuning in. He might be a guy, but I think Mike Young is probably going to stay in a similar role to what he is. I'm not sure the Rangers want to throw him in the fire. A guy that has a lot of baseball experience, but isn't necessarily a lot of manager experience. We'll see what happens. I wouldn't be mad at Mike Young. I know he was thrown around in the Angels managerial search. By the way, Mike Young confirmed with Jeff Wilson that Angels rumor was just that, a rumor. Nothing behind Mike Young potentially going to the Angels. Tony Beasley for manager. Look, Tony Beasley's a great guy. I know that he gets a lot of crap for some of his decision-making down at third base, but he's a guy that's been around for a long time. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bees was a candidate in 2022, right? After that season, before Bochy got hired, wasn't Beasley kind of a candidate before he stayed on? I thought he was. I don't think Beasley is going to get the job, but we'll see what happens. Maddox is great. Who else can do the shoulder rub like him? Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Trade Semien for a good young top pitcher to match with Leiter. I just don't think that they can get rid of the Semien contract. You guys think they can? I don't think any team wants to take on 3 years, $72 million, which is what Semien is going to get paid. I don't see it. If they can, it's a highway robbery. I don't think there's any team willing to take on that salary. Yeah, Beasley managed the Rangers, was the interim guy, right? When Chris Woodward got let go, Beasley was kind of interim guy for a while. And then, of course, Bruce Bochy came on in 2023. We'll see what happens. What else y'all want to talk about? You guys fire away in the comments section. I got a few other things. I got a grab bag of about 30 different things I could probably go to at this point. You guys let me know what direction you want to take this. And then if no one speaks up, we'll continue on to our next topic. We're going to keep our eye on wild card stuff, by the way. 3-3 Boston, New York in the top of the seventh. Boston 2 on, nobody out. That definitely is turning out to be a really good game. We'll see if New York can even it up. Man, Yankees flaming out in 2 games against the Red Sox. That'd be something. By the way, I just got the update. I guess there's 2 outs. There were 2 on, nobody out, but looks like Boston is now 2 on, 2 out in the top of the seventh. Pitching rotation. All right, let's talk about it. So first of all, the pitching rotation right now looks to be DeGrom, Evo, Leiter. I think Jacob Latz probably makes it in there. And then I think until Cody Bradford gets back, you're going to have maybe Kumar Rocker stepping in. I could see Kumar Rocker with Cody Bradford being out. That being said, you could see the Rangers go out and re-sign Tyler Mahle. You could see the Rangers go out and sign another top-line starter. There's a number of guys that are out there. Dylan Cease is going to be a free agent. I think he might be a guy that the Rangers look at. We will see how the rotation shakes out. I do think, though, that the Rangers will probably prioritize that in the offseason. I think they are going to go out and get somebody else. With DeGrom, with Evo aging, I'm not sure that you can count on 30 games from DeGrom again. I think you've got to go out and get another frontline guy that can stabilize the rotation a little bit. I think Leiter is going to be back there. Cody Bradford, I think, will get another shot as well. But I would just not be shocked if CY, the pitcher that he is, the former pitcher that he is, goes out and gets somebody. We'll see. 2026 starting pitching free agents, though. Let me give you some of the highlights. I've already kind of run through this in past shows, but we'll definitely rerun through it. Framber Valdez, probably one of the big names from Houston. Let's see. I'm going to go reasonable options here, by the way. Jack Flaherty and Frankie Montas both have player options, so they could opt out. Justin Verlander is an unrestricted free agent. He had a great finish to 2025. I think I said in a past show, I know he played for the enemy for years, but that could be a solid guy to have at the back end of your rotation, especially while Cody Bradford, maybe Kumar Rocker figure it out. Zach Gallen, Dylan Cease. Let's see. Who else? Shane Bieber has a player option. He could become a free agent. Ranger Suarez is an unrestricted free agent. Tyler Mahle. Patrick Corbin, of course. Another guy. Merrill Kelly. We already talked about him. Michael King for San Diego has a mutual option. Michael Lorenzen has a mutual option. Michael Kopech is an unrestricted free agent. And that kind of rounds out the list. We'll see what happens. I think at this point, the Rangers are probably going to see if they can re-sign Tyler Mahle. And then I think Dylan Cease, Zach Gallen, I think those guys definitely will be potential options as well. Jack Flaherty, I think, could be a guy that the Rangers are possibly linked to. We'll see what happens. Keep rolling through. Who won the Cole Reagans trade? It's in the eye of the beholder. If you're a guy that values rings, I think Texas getting a ring with Chapman, I think there's an argument to be made that the Rangers still won that trade. If you don't care about rings at all, yeah, of course, on paper, the Royals won the trade. If you don't contextualize the fact that Texas won a World Series that year. Let's see, what even happened to Bradford? He had that brace surgery, Colby. He's going to be back next summer. Gary says, would love for Mahle to come back. He pitches great at home. I think that he's actually going to be a top priority. I think the Rangers are going to try and find a way to re-sign him. With Merrill Kelly not working out, I know you probably have some injury concerns about Tyler Mahle, and he is a guy that was injured a lot during his 2-year contract with the club. But if you can re-sign him at a reasonable price, I think the Rangers would do it. Would the Rangers maybe go for JT Realmuto? I don't know, but I'd love for it to happen. Would love for it to happen. TLC says, what do I think about Alonso from the Mets? Too pricey? Probably, but that's the kind of guy that the Rangers need. I've said it for a long time. The Rangers need an alpha presence in the clubhouse. Corey Seager, we love him. He's one of my favorite players. I don't think Corey Seager is that alpha presence that we're talking about. I think at this point, Corey Seager is a lead-by-example guy. He's always going to be good with the bat. I don't think at this point that Corey Seager is that alpha presence we're talking about. I think Kyle Schwarber would be an outstanding ad, an absolutely outstanding ad for the Rangers. JT Realmuto, I think, would fit that mold as well. I don't want to see the Rangers just go get some mid-level depth guy to fill this out. I want to see them go out and get a star in this league, an alpha presence, somebody that can be a leader, a true voice in that locker room. Rangers really lacked that this year. They lacked a voice in the locker room. They lacked an alpha. Jock, kind of a feel-good guy. I don't think he's the alpha presence that we're talking about right now. If you went and got Kyle Schwarber, I think JT Realmuto would be a good fit. Clearly, if you went out and got Pete Alonso, I think that would be a good fit. You need presence like that. You need it. What on earth can be done with Jock? Thoughts and prayers. The comment from TLC, appreciate it. What on earth can be done with Jock? Thoughts and prayers. You got to hope and pray that this guy turns it around in 2026. I don't think the Rangers are moving on from him. I think he will be back in 2026, and you're just praying he has a turnaround. I would love Wyatt to be closer to 30-30 TLC. And there are talks that the Rangers are talking about an extension. I think you got to be careful. Like right now, if you're trying to cut salary, I'm assuming that the extension would hit during the ARB years. Because right now, I think Wyatt is still one more year of pre-ARB, if I'm not mistaken. I'll look it up real quick. But I thought Wyatt had one more year of pre-ARB. So I'm assuming any extension would probably happen after this year. They could still get it done in the offseason. But looks like Wyatt Langford right now has one more year of pre-ARB. 2027 is ARB1. So you would, whatever contract you agree upon, you would have it start in 2027. Because if you're trying to cut cost, you're not trying to give Wyatt Langford a raise. You're trying to pay him the league minimum again in 2026, which is smart business. So I did hear some rumblings, Wyatt Langford extension maybe this offseason. I'd be a fan. I think if you can get Wyatt Langford on an 8, 9, 10-year deal, maybe paying him something like $20 million a year, I think that works. I think that works. We will see what happens, but if you can get Wyatt Langford $20 million a year, 7, 8, 9, 10-year deal, I'd be up for it. Absolutely. Would the Rangers consider Bregman? Gary, they should. I would love to have Alex Bregman as an upgrade over Young. Gary, I'm surprised you even suggested that because I know you're a big Josh Young fan, and I like Josh Young too. I know that throughout the year we've been hard on Josh Young here on the show, but I like Josh Young. I really would love to see him become 2023 version Josh Young again. I think that he would absolutely be a great long-term fit, but you got to see him improve and get back to 2023. He's got, I think, the pedigree. We know that it's in there somewhere, but the last 2 years, the OPS is tanked. If you can go get Alex Bregman, I think that's a definite upgrade over Josh Young. Need a first baseman? Yep. Simeon got to go? Yeah, but I don't think it's going to happen. I do think, Gary, they're stuck with Jock for another year. If we could trade for Marte, that would be phenomenal, but I don't think Marte is for sale. Don't think he's going to be for sale. Bombi had a bad year and still led the team in RBIs. Only spark plug we have. Luis, I don't think there's any way El Bombi's coming back. And I will say this. Consider where they hit El Bombi. I mean, this guy was constantly hitting in the 4 spot, in the 5 spot. Unless you're absolutely terrible, you're going to naturally be given more RBI opportunity when you've got Corey Seager hitting in front of you, when you've got other guys like Wyatt Langford hitting in front of you. You're going to have RBI opportunity. I'm not saying Dolly had the worst year ever, but what I am saying is I don't think the production was good enough. You can say all day long, he led the team in RBI. I don't know how big of an accomplishment that really is, if we're being honest. And secondly, I think the Rangers in the number 4 spot are looking for a guy getting much closer to 100 RBI or over. Dolly falling short of that back-to-back years. I would say having a disappointing season. I think it's time to move on. I would still boo Bregman if he comes here. I think if he starts dropping some bombs and walking off some games, we're going to start feeling a little bit better about him. Brian, what's good, man? Bochy staying in the FO. I hope he stays in the front office. I think that would be ideal. Then you could probably still work from afar at times. It's not like you got to be in Arlington nonstop. You can be a phone call away, a Zoom call away in Tennessee, where Bochy has a home, has family. So I would think he would like this advisory role. I think that would be ideal for a guy his age looking to maybe dial it back a little bit and enjoy some more family time. Why not be in that senior advisor role, whatever role they're going to carve out for him? I think that makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. I can't take Bregman unless he gets a tattoo of Corey saying we'll never know. That's awesome, man. I love that. Look, that was hilarious, first of all. That would be funny. I'm sure that they'll get over it if Bregman means winning baseball in Arlington. Brett Boone needs to be released. I don't think Booney comes back. I don't. Hey, Brian, appreciate that, man. I wear this shirt to work quite a bit. I have a couple of Rangers polos I love to rotate in and out. Look, one of my favorites for sure. I think I got this off Fanatics. Most of my stuff I get from there. If Bochy goes to San Francisco, we can trade Simeon there. Hey, there we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Look, I like Marcus, heart and hustle guy. I think the Rangers are going to be stuck with him for a couple more years. Hopefully he's another bounce back guy. At this point, he's got to be. I think the contract is way too prohibitive to trade him. I don't think anybody is even going to be interested, unfortunately. Hey, by the way, we're at the 50-minute mark. We're going to be going about an hour. We got about 10 more minutes left in the show. Right now, we're going to turn and pivot slightly to wild card stuff. Look, there's no real villain I'm cheering against. If the Astros were playing, that would be an easy. Right now, Boston, New York tied 3-3. Dodgers play later tonight. I'm cheering for San Diego, very casually, by the way. So if they lose, trust me, no one is going to be less upset than me. I won't be at all crying in my beer if they flame out against the Cubs. But a pivotal Game 3 coming up, I believe, tomorrow. Detroit, Cleveland tied up as well. And you've got New York and Cincinnati trying to even things up in their respective series. We shall see what happens, but I'm cheering for the Padres. Hope they do well. We'll see how it goes. You guys let me know who you're cheering for. Gary, I figured it was going to be go Cubs go. It's nothing personal, brother. Nothing personal. I've always enjoyed cheering for the Padres living out here on the West Coast, unless they're playing the Rangers. I like Tatis. I know that's controversial because of the steroids. I like Machado. I like Yu Darvish, former Ranger. I like Merrill. There's a number of guys I really enjoy watching play that play for the Padres. So that's why I'm cheering for them. But you know what, Gary? If the Cubs win, I'll be happy for you, brother. Red Sox to win it all? Yeah. I don't know if I can get on board with one of those guys winning it all. Boston, New York, meh. I mean, look, in order of preference, if I'm looking at all the teams, I don't know if I'm going to be able to reel it off on the fly here, but I'll probably go Padres and then teams that haven't won it yet. So Brewers will go after that. Maybe Mariners, but like I told you guys, it's hard for me to cheer for an in-division rival. It just is. It just is. You let me know who you guys are cheering for. Dodgers, Mariners, World Series? I don't know. I'd like to see probably two different teams. Mariners, like I said, I just can't get on board with an AL West team winning it all. I can't. It's hard for me. Thoughts on Michael Young's name popping up on the manager list? Well, he actually texted Jeff Wilson of DLLS, and he said that what's been rumored about him is not true. So I don't even know if MY is actually trying to get a managerial position at this point. By the way, we've got bottom of the seventh. Yankees have a runner on second right now. I'm going to go watch that game after we get off the show here. I'd just like to see the Yankees tie it up just so we have a Game 3. Like I said, my biggest cheer for this playoff postseason is can we get as many Game 3s and Game 5s and Game 7s as possible. Game 3s in the wild card round, Game 5s in the divisional round, Game 7s in the CS, in the ALCS, and in the World Series. I just want to watch as much baseball as possible. Bryce Harper getting his ring this year. This is kind of the year you feel like for the Phillies to do it. You've got Real Muto, free agent. You got Ranger Suarez free agent. You've got Kyle Schwarber free agent. You feel like this is the year for the Phillies to do it. Dodgers or Padres, one of them is taking it all. I hope it's the Padres. We'll never root for a division rival. Gary, I can't do it either. I just cannot do it. Hey, real quick, with a few minutes remaining of our show, you guys know every Wednesday we do a Rangers show, Rangers Offseason. I will be locked into as much off-season chatter as I possibly can. And when the Rangers announce a manager, we will be going live to discuss it. Hopefully, it won't be announced too late, but I fully plan on doing a live show whenever the Rangers announce a manager. So if it's not on a Wednesday, whatever, we're going to go live to talk about it. We'll do a special emergency live to discuss whoever the Rangers hire. If they announce one later today, we will be hopping back on the live to talk about it. So we'll definitely go live if something major happens. The Rangers acquire a new player, they sign someone, they hire a new manager. Unless it's a really small minor move, like I'll be real with you guys. When they signed some of the one-year guys in the bullpen, we didn't always go live. We waited till Wednesday. But if it's a big name player, more of a household name kind of guy, we'll definitely go live to talk about it. That's going to be our plan. Every Wednesday, though, for sure, we will do our off-season show. It goes about an hour, and I'm going to try and do it around this time. Kind of works out nice. I know this is, 7:30 Texas time. It's not on a football night, Thursday night football. It doesn't get in the way. Wednesday kind of worked as a good day to have the show. So I hope it works for you. You can always watch it on the replay, of course, but hopefully this will work out. You can tune in and kind of count on us going live, usually around, 6:30 Texas time on Wednesdays. So that's the plan. That is the plan. Hey, McJ, good one. Good to see you, brother. Appreciate you tuning into the show. Good one, man. Tony Beasley is a guy that quite a few people keep bringing up. I don't think there's any way they DFA Jock. I really don't. Hey, if you're hanging out and you haven't hit that follow button yet, come on now. Let's go. Hit that follow button. Hang out with us. This weekend, we will be live for football. Texas Longhorns on Saturday. Even if you're not a fan of the team, come talk some trash. Come hang out. Longhorns open up SEC play against Florida in Gainesville at the Swamp. Should be a good one. We'll also be talking Sunday football. Cowboys travel to play the Jets. And we will go live in the fourth quarter and do some post-game for that as well. So we've got a couple more lives coming up this week, mainly football focused. Hope you guys can join us. But I just want to say a special thank you to everyone supporting the show in as many ways as they do. All of y'all that faithfully watch the lives, that watch the videos that I put out every few days. I can't say thank you enough. This show has gotten astronomically bigger in the 2.5 years that I have been doing this because of you guys. Definitely, we put in the hard work, but you guys help make the show grow into what it has. Liking the videos, sharing them with people you know, love the Rangers, love the other teams that we cover here. By the way, we will be doing Dallas Mavericks lives as well when they are in primetime settings. We'll probably do a home opener. So whatever the home opener is, whenever it is, we'll go live for that. And then after that, we kind of trail off a little bit and we focus on big games on ABC, ESPN, TNT, that kind of thing. So we will plan to kind of start firing that up once NBA season gets live and rocking. Appreciate all you guys, man. It was a great show today. Clearly, once the Rangers get their new manager and once the offseason really gets into full effect, once the playoffs are over, things are going to start heating up a little bit. But until then, we will definitely keep bringing you quality content throughout the week, dropping reels, dropping TikToks, dropping shorts for you guys, and every Wednesday going live to talk Rangers baseball in the offseason. Like I said, we'll do the emergency lives when we need to. Hopefully we get a manager name within the next week. I would be surprised if we don't. I got to think within the next week the Rangers are going to reveal who the next manager is. Appreciate the kind words. Gary, I'm down. Fantasy Baseball League for next year, I'm down. Definitely. Although I got to say, and I think I've talked about this, I am not a big fan of rotisserie. Gary, I don't know if you like head-to-head rotisserie. I'm not a big rotisserie guy. I'm really not. I really like the head-to-head better. Rotisserie, it's fun for a second, and then you're out of it, and you're like, meh. So, look, if it's head-to-head, I'm down. I can't do rotisserie. I lose interest too quick. Head-to-head is fun, though. Ron Washington reunion tour would be sweet. I would be down for Ron Washington coming back. I just don't know if his health is there enough to hold up. I do think TLC, Osuna, Freeman, they definitely have a chance. I don't think either one of them start. I think they could potentially be bench guys. Osuna had a great end of the year. I don't think he starts in right field to begin the season unless the Rangers really strike out in the trade market or in free agency. I think Cody Freeman is a good bench player. Rocco Baldelli, Gary, I know you were talking about him. I know we were going back and forth, DMing. I think he could be a guy that the Rangers potentially interview. I wouldn't mind Rocco. He's had some good years in Minnesota. I think Skip is probably still going to be the most likely candidate. Stars Vegas game would be fun. Brian, I got to be real. I'm just a super casual hockey fan, though, man. Like, I wouldn't mind hanging out with you guys for that game. But just know, if I ever go live for a hockey game, you are not getting a lot of X's and O's analysis. You're getting just raw emotion, me cheering, going back and forth with you guys. We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to do hockey lives or not. I'll probably stick to basketball, football, baseball, but we will see. I'll think about it, brother. I definitely enjoy watching hockey. Don't get me wrong. I like watching the Knights out here in Vegas. I like keeping up with the Stars, but definitely not a savant of the game by any means. By any means. Nate Lowe up right now? All right, let's watch Nate Lowe and see what he does real quick in his AB before we take off. We got a 2-2 count right now. Okay, 2-2. Boston has a runner on first base. Bregman's on first, and nobody out right now. Williams in the game. Uh-oh. Cover your eyes if you're a New York fan. Williams in the game. Looks like Nate Lowe is going to chase a changeup here. And let's see what the result is. I'm watching on At Bat right now or on game day. Double play. Woof. That reminds me of the good old days when Nate played for the Rangers. Little double play. I know that maybe that was a little too far. Nate, I love him, but this definitely reminds me of what he was doing for us in Arlington. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, Gary, not quite. Not quite, man. Pete Alonso thoughts. Hope we get him, but don't know if we're going to be willing to spend the money. Hope we get him, though. Yeah, TLC agreed, but that is just about what Nate was doing for us before we traded him in the offseason. I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. We love Nate Lowe. We'll love him forever for what he did in 23. Played some great defense. Had some big hits here and there, but the Rangers did well cutting loose on Nate Lowe. They really did. Brian, I'm down. If that is the case, that would be fun. Stars and Knights going live. I would be down to do that for sure. But like I said, no technical X's and O's. We will get some haters coming in. Definitely. We will. This guy doesn't know hockey. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It happens even with the baseball shows we do, man. But the real ones know better. They do. Where did I get this shirt? Fanatics. Love this shirt. Great shirt. Wear it to work all the time. TLC, I'm with you. I'm not sure why they did. I think they were really hurting at first base, honestly. All right, guys. Hey, we're going to go get a meal here, get a little bite to eat, enjoy the rest of this Wednesday night. We'll have some content out tomorrow. I got a Cowboys video. Actually, I have a Cowboys video that I'm going to release like right after the live. Got some content coming your way too. Rangers, Longhorns, a couple of things in the works. But we'll be live again on Saturday for football, college football. Texas Longhorns playing the Gators. We'll be live on Sunday. Cowboys at Jets. And then if the Rangers make a decision on their new manager, we'll be doing an emergency live. So look for us to go live later that day. It just kind of depends on when they announce it. But if they announce it during the day, we'll go live that evening. If they announce it during the evening hours, we'll go live as soon as we possibly can. All right, that's the plan. Appreciate all you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Justin, I know you just got here, man, but we are just about to wrap up the show. Appreciate you. You know that. And yeah, this shirt is awesome. Highly recommend. Like I said, This offseason, I'm getting my Fanatics code ready, and I'm going to paste that thing in the chat so you guys can help me make a couple pennies from Fanatics. If we got to pay them anyways, might as well give a couple of pennies to Right on Rangers in the process. Am I right? Hey, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Hit the like button on your way out if you haven't done it yet on YouTube. Double tap a few times on TikTok before we end the live. I'd appreciate it. What would we get up to? A couple grand? 2.3K? Hey, not bad, not bad. Thank you so much, guys, for a great show. We'll see y'all soon. And as I always say to end every show, God bless and go Rangers.